What's going on, guys? Search One Frog here. Just came back from the locals. Today I ran a fun deck. Ran plants. I think the side deck's what makes the deck shine, in my opinion. To be honest, I lost a lot of game ones, but the game twos they were just too good. And I'm sure we'll get into that later. Let's just get into the deck profile for now. Yeah, I ended up winning locals. I don't know if I mentioned that. Pretty cool. So you got the Gores, the BLS, the Tour Guide engine. I'm not running a Night Assailant. I might add that for some consistency, because usually I run the call build, so usually you want to get Sanguine with the first Tour Guide to make your call live, and then the second Tour Guide will kind of just linger there, unless you have Avarice. You get the 2 Debris, definitely very good at setting for 2000 defense, because I never really got its effect off. Next up was a Tech Maxi. This is the 40th card in my deck. I don't really like hand traps this format, but it was my 40th card. I was thinking to myself, okay, what am I scared of the most? And water just came to mind, so I thought of a good card that was good against water. Can't really main D-Fissure because it would just ruin my whole strategy. Plants are kind of a graveyard-oriented deck, sort of, so it couldn't run any cards that hurt the water deck like that. Now that I come to think of it, maybe Transmigration Prophecy would have been decent. I don't know. So that's that. Next up is a Reaper. I like Reaper a lot. I don't know if I would want to run 2, just one of those cards, but I could see myself upping it because there were some cards I didn't like. Next up are 2 Troopers. Trooper doesn't do a whole lot for the deck. He does trade with Sabersauruses and Thunder Kings, which is always nice, and he mills. Once in a while you'll mill a Dandy or a Zephyros or a Spore or whatever. But he's really there for the Call of the Haunted. And I noticed after 2 days local that Call was usually not that good of a card, so I'm thinking about changing the build up a lot. Zephyros, this card was just dead the whole day. The one time I did get it engrave, I had to remove it for BLS, or else I was going to lose, and that BLS ended up dying. I lost anyway. So yeah, I really don't like Zephyros. Then you got the Plant Engine. It can be good and it can be bad at times. Dandelion's a very good standalone card because it can stall out some attacks. Lone Fire can search these guys, but the thing is, say you draw these 2, Lone Fire is dead, and that actually happened a lot, believe it or not. Didn't get off too many plant plays. I would consider this just a Thunder King deck, because that's the big guy in the deck. You just protect the Thunder King and win, but these cards help Thunder King. So that's 18 monsters. Like I said, I would change a lot. I would cut the Troopers probably. I would probably cut the Zephyros. And, I don't know what I'd add, but I'll think about that some other day. Next up, you got a Soul Taker. An opposing Thunder King could actually be a problem to this deck in some situations, as well as other cards like Dolka, Lagia, and Soul Taker is just a nice card to go and answer those problems, as well as you got the Reaper. So you can always get a Soul Taker Reaper play, which is a pretty good combo. You got Foolish, which was just another one of those cards. A lot of time I would just Foolish for Dandelion tokens to protect my life points. I didn't want to lose, because you really don't draw monsters all too much in this deck with only 18. So yeah, I didn't really like it. If I cut Zephyros, I'll probably cut Foolish as well. You get some staples. Heavy Mind Control was amazing the whole day. Made a lot. I stole a whole bunch of Abyss Lens and exceeded with them against the water. Water's I can't lose against water. I don't think I can because of my side deck. It's just too good. Pot of Avarice, Reborn, Hull, Double Messenger. I'm a big advocate of this card. It's just too good. Even against water, I know they can get a marksman push in, but it can really slow them down. It slows down every deck, even windups. Sure, windups can attack with Rabbit, but they can't make any Exceed plays because all of the Exceeds have too much attack. So everything short of Papal Operative, I think, because you could put Papal Operative in defense mode, and then actually it's 21. Well, you can Papal Operative your other guys to make them attack under Messenger, which can be useful sometimes. Then you got 3 MSTs, because MSTs, you just gotta run 3 in almost everything nowadays to answer that Abyss Sphere. So that's 12 spells. Yeah. And then we got the 10 traps. My favorite trap of the format, Compulse. It is dead against a lot of decks, but it's just a really good card right now. Answers too much. Solemn. Double Call. This card was just terrible the whole weekend. I made one cool play with it the whole weekend, and it was in the finals, or in the semifinals. I called a Debris Dragon, overlaid with my Thunder King, and made Maestro and booked his monster. Because he had a Papilloperative under my messenger, but I was at 100 life points. So I called my Debris Dragon, overlaid Thunder King and the Debris into Maestro in defense mode, put his Papilloperative in defense mode, or face down, and I set my Torrential and my Solemn. And next turn, he flipped it up and I Torrentialed, and he used Magatama because he had another 6 Samurai, and I Solemned it. And I ended up winning that game with 50 life points. Yeah, I had to kill my messenger too because I would lose otherwise because I was at 100 life points. So it was an interesting game, very interesting that game. 2 Torrentials, 2 Mirror Force, 2 warnings. So that's 10 traps, pretty standard. Then you got my tokens, awesome tokens. Parallel Scapegoats are always cool. Okay, onto the side deck. This is what won me almost every game. I lost a lot of game ones, like I said. I really like the side deck though, because it's unexpected. Everyone was asking me the whole day, what are you running? Some people didn't see the plants that I drew, and if you don't see the plants, you really just don't know what I'm running. Really am just running like a Thunder King deck. So I'm just going to show you all the cards in the side deck first. Yeah, you're probably thinking, what the hell? Because like, plants revolve around the graveyard, so why would I side in cards that kind of counteract that? And it's pretty simple, really. Even back then, when Plants was a good deck, a year ago, 2 years ago, I would find myself siding out the Plant engine a lot because there were just a lot of answers game 2 for the Plant deck. They're going to side Maxis, they're going to side maybe macros and stuff, and I'm siding in D-Fissure myself, so obviously just the idea is you side into anti-meta, and it really gets helpful when you're playing against water, because this card backed up with a Forbidden Lance or a Compulse, or any, I mean, those are the bad cards to have with this against water, but like, say you have any form of defense at all in a Banisher, your opponent's going to be at a very difficult position if they're running water. Even Diva can't handle a Compulse, so you'll be in a good position. Doomcal, the idea behind Doomcal is, if I'm playing against a macro deck, like a macro rabbit or something, they're not going to really have hand traps, I wouldn't believe, because they have macro, so they don't work well together. And Doomcal is just great under a Macrocosmos. I'm probably going to up this to 2 in the side deck. I might even main it, I don't know, because the lack of good monsters in the main deck. Snowman Eater is just Snowman Eater in the Maxi. So, as you can see, it's a very anti-meta kind of side deck, and I did like take 15 cards out and throw these 15 cards in a lot, especially in the water matchup. I pretty much side in all of these versus water except like Soul Taker. So, next up, extra deck. There's probably one thing I changed in the extra, so I'll go over that. Standard rank 3s. I don't run Leviathan. Kind of wanted to at one point, but I think Giga Brilliant might be a bit more important because it just like makes Torguide an instant light and dark for the BLS. That's just too good. Tempo is just too good. Levier is just too good. Semain's just too good. Acid Golem gets over the guys that Leviathan can't get over, so I think he's important. Then I ran a rank 4. I opted to run Maestro because it's just a really well-rounded rank 4. It can go offensive, it can go defensive. I like that about Maestro. Except for the Synchros, you got Formula, Armory Arm, Cat, Librarian. Never made that. Iron Chain, I would change this to Orient Dragon. I know Orient has 300 less defense, but I actually found myself in a position today where I summoned a Debris Dragon, got Dandelion, and they flipped goes a match. Had I sent Dandelion, I did send Dandelion in the graveyard, and Dandelion tokens are win, so I special summoned them. But Orient Dragon is a win, so you could just sink, and then I could have attacked over his 1900 Hazy Flame guy. Yeah, he was running Hazy Flames, so it's just something, a nice little added bonus, and it doesn't hurt that Synchros are a bit more popular than they were last format since the water deck. So that's the extra deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.